It's 1849. You have just gotten out of the grasp of slavery and you are finally free. You have never thought about what it would be like after getting away. You could finally have a free meal, a shower, and even a nice warm place to sleep without the worry of being beaten. But you realize that's not what you want. You run it through your mind to try and understand what you could do to make a difference. You come to the realization that being free will not be worth it until you help free more innocent people. This is the story of Harriet Tubman and how she did just that. Harriet Tubman obviously had many hardships as a child. She was born right into slavery. She was affected by it right from the point where she could understand what was happening. She was moved away from her family and from house to house at a very young age. She knew she was done with how African Americans were being treated, so she decided to take action. She managed to escape after 30 years of harsh treatment, and once she escapes, she figures out the only way she's getting away is going through the Underground Railroad and taking it to Pennsylvania. After she got away on the Underground Railroad, a couple years passes, and she realizes she does not want to just sit there and do nothing. She wants to help and get more people to safety. Now, in order to understand what the Underground Railroad actually is, you must first not take the name so literally. This is not a railroad that travels underground. It is homes that were set up with secret codes to get escaped slaves from place to place. So in order for her to help slaves escape, she goes to the Underground Railroad and starts as a conductor to save as many slaves as she could from the hardships that were put on them. But as she was helping to get people out, there was a law brewing, the Fugitive Slave Act. This was a law being passed that stated when a slave ran away from its master, it's required that the return of the fugitive slave happened immediately. This mattered not if it was from the government or the residents of free states. Abolitionists nicknamed this law the Bloodhound Law for the dogs that were used to track down runaway slaves. This made children, men, women so much harder to transfer from the harsh states and move them to the free states. The issue here was America did not have very many places to go that were free states. So the slaves started moving to Canada to be free with the help of Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. Harriet Tubman saved over 300 enslaved people. She had a bounty on her head for $40,000, which inflation today would make it about $1.2 million. After freeing 300 enslaved people, Harriet Tubman settled down in New York at the Harriet Tubman Home for the Aged. As I was doing my research, I saw a very powerful quote from her that said, "If you hear the dogs, keep going. If you see the torches in the woods, keep going. If they're shouting after you, keep going. Don't ever stop, keep going. If you want a taste of freedom, keep going." This made me think super hard about how stressful life must have been and the hardships she was under her entire life.